Are you ready to bust your stash? Welcome to the September Stashbuster Junk Journal Challenge. This is the details video. I'm Julie, Queen Creator and CEO here at Dear Julie Julie, and I'd like to welcome you to the September Stashbuster Junk Journal Challenge. Stay tuned for details. Hi everybody, it's Julie and I'm here with the details for the September Stashbuster Junk Journal Challenge. So it is September and I think we need a break from all the regimen, and so we are going to have a Stashbuster Junk Journal Challenge. This time you are able to use anything in your stash that's in your stash as of today. So the one exception is, of course, you can add Dear Julie Julie digitals or product to your kit. So but other than that, we are going to be working from our stash. I have a box here. I'm not positive this is what I'm going to use, but these are things that I've been collecting as I've been, I'm going slowly around my room and redoing things and making my area more Julie friendly for things to be where I can get to them easily, and putting some of the things that I don't use as often further away. But I have been collecting things to use, and I'm going to be using the other daisy kits. Okay, so the daisy field, the antique daisy, maybe a little daisy grunge, daisy quotes, definitely. And so I'm looking forward to that. It has more of an antique look, and so I have this that I've been collecting. Had not finalized what I was doing as for a challenge, but knew that I wanted to be able to use those, and so there you go. So we're going to be making a journal this month. It's going to be it can be any theme, it can be any size. It does need to be at least 60 pages, okay? And that is so that you have enough room to put in the required elements, okay? Let's see, any size, any theme, any type of journal. So you can do any type of binding that you want. It just needs to be from within your stash. Diamond and Emerald Patreons, you have a few days that you can shop. So because of you getting to see this video as one of your perks, if you're a Diamond, Emerald, or a Diamond Patreon or above, you get the full video hint, and you get early access into the group. So that's pretty exciting. Okay, so we are going to be making, I'm going to tell you what we're going to make. I'm going to tell you about it, tell you about what you get for finishing and all that. Okay, so this month we are going to be making 3 different, and you can make more than 3, but 3 different elements from each of the following items, okay? And you're working from your stash, from your whole stash. You can use anything in your craft room, in your craft, stash in your house, basically. So your first thing and of course, you know me, I spelled out Stashbuster, and the first thing is scrapbook paper scraps. So if you have scrapbook paper scraps, just random scrapbook paper scraps laying around, this is a good one that you can use. You're going to make 3 elements out of those paper scraps. They need to be different elements, so you could make a paper clip, you could make a pocket, and you could make a page. Okay, then remember that each of those elements need to be embellished with 3 things. Now, that does not mean that you need to add 3 chunky things. Anything that you take, okay, so you take, say you're going to do scrapbook paper scraps. Say you're going to take and you're going to collage something. Okay, maybe you're going to make the shapeshifter tags. Okay, so those are a collage tag that we make. And you're going to make that out of scrapbook paper. That is your base. Now, if you sew around, you making a tag and you sew around it, that's 1 embellishment. If you add some washi tape, that's 2. If you add a stamp, that's 3. If you add a stamp, the other kind of a stamp, that would be 4. If you add baker's twine around it, that's 5, and so on and so on and so on. And so sewing counts, stamping counts, stenciling counts, and those washi tape counts. Those are all things that you can add that are not going to add a lot of bulk to your journals. We've had a lot of people that are doing these elements and they're getting journals that are, you know, this big. So I'm going to keep reminding you that you can use things that don't have to add bulk. The other thing is you can add things here. You've already bulked this page up a little bit. Add something here. They're going to share the bulk. Okay? So anyway, scrapbook paper scraps. Number 2, torn book pages. So you are going to make elements using book pages that you tear. So you can make a scrappy panel like you would put on the front of a journal out of a book page. You can, and it can be any kind of book page. I was thinking the written book pages because most of us have hundreds and hundreds of those. But if you want to use some other kind of book, yeah. Okay, so book pages, torn book pages. You can make like those triple pockets and tear your pockets, and that would be a torn element. Any roll of paper. So any roll of paper, so wallpaper on a roll, wallpaper border on a roll, wrapping paper, contact paper, paper towels, toilet paper, you know, whatever kind of paper that you have that comes on a roll. If you have tissue paper, crepe paper, those all count. Okay, so any roll of paper, you're going to make 3 different elements using that. S is strips of paper. Now remember, this is your base part. Okay, so if you remember back to April, we did all about the base. You're going to make a base from your element. Then you're going to decorate it with at least 3 embellishing things. Okay, so strips of paper. You can go ahead and make a collage out of strips of paper. You can weave strips of paper. You can make an edge out of strips of paper. You know, be creative. Show us some different things. But strips of paper, because that's something that most of us have in our stash. I now keep a bunch of strips of paper and branding strips right here. You guys, this used to be totally full. It was actually in a bigger jar, but it used to be totally full. And now I've been using them because they're right here. Right here. Right here. Okay? And yeah, lots of my stuff is right here now. Right here. Okay. H. Okay, I had a hard time with H. Happy mail or mail. It can be junk mail. It can be a greeting card, something that came in the mail. But the H was happy mail. So if somebody has sent you something, this is your chance to use some happy mail. And if you remember who it's from, when you do your video or you do your post, acknowledge them in that. But happy mail. B is box. So this is cereal box, you know, macaroni and cheese box, soap box. It could be a jewelry box. And, you know, say you have a jewelry box and it's just not, it's not going to happen. You're not going to use it anymore, but it has some really pretty fabric in it or something, and you pull the fabric out, or you take the ballerina off the top. That's going to count for box, okay? But really what I'm looking for is your cover can be made out of a box. You can make tags out of a box. And remember, you don't have to use a box at its full weight. A lot of them, they're in layers, and you can pull the layers apart. You can use, oh, I don't have it right here anymore. I don't know where it went, but, you know, the corrugated part. Pull the top off, and you've got the corrugated. Makes a really cool thing on the cover. But we want to see a box, somehow, some part of a box that you've used as a base for 3 elements. U is unusual or ugly. Okay? So that's where this one might stump some of you. You're going to find something just that's an unusual thing to use in a journal. And it might be a bread, like a bread tie. The, you know, not the tie, but that plastic thing. You know, and it might be unusual to you, might not be unusual to us, but just something that's unusual. If you're really, really, really having trouble with it, then what you can do for unusual is use something that you've never used before. Go ahead and challenge yourself to use something that you've never used before. So we've got you there. Use something you've never used before, and that would be unusual to you. Or ugly. I mean, do you have some really ugly paper? Or, you know, ugly paper, ugly fabric, ugly washi tape. And remember, you can go ahead and make it, you know, turn it into something beautiful. Okay, so U. S is stickers. You can use any stickers you want to, okay? And the sticker needs to be the base or the main part of your element. And then you still need to add your 3 other things to it, but you get to use stickers this time. T is tickets, large or small, any kind. I have these tickets that I just got from Spectrum Arts Creations. They're big tickets. They actually have a perforated area here. So you can use a large ticket. You can use our regular small ticket. A guest check would be a ticket. You know, or any kind of guest check like that would be a ticket. I think like an order receipt would be a ticket, because when there's a lot of places that are going to call your sales receipt a ticket, sales ticket. Okay, so get a bigger, broader ticket. You can make a paper clip out of your ticket. You can take tickets like this and make your border. You can make a tag or something wonderful, tag or a pocket or something out of your large ticket. Okay, you can make your own tickets. Make your own tickets. Okay, so maybe, in here. Okay, so your paper pad might have tickets. Okay, make your own tickets out of a digital, out of the paper pad. And remember, I've shown you before how to make your own tickets. And of course, we'll be probably making our own tickets on ticket day. E, envelopes. Any envelopes. It can be the large envelopes, and it could be your cover, okay, as one of your elements. It can be a small, little teeny tiny envelope. It can be an envelope from a card. You can make your own envelopes. You can use an envelope from your stash and use it as a template and make another envelope. You can use your, if you have the template for the dad's bank envelope, or you know, just any kind of envelope, and you can, you know, make it to match out of your scrapbook paper if you wanted to. Okay. R, something round. You guys know that I'm really enjoying the round stuff. So if you don't have something that's actually round, you can go ahead and take something round and make a round tag. You can make a round tab. Just remember that your base needs to be round, and then you're going to add 3 other things to it. Okay? So that is Stashbuster. Scrapbook paper scraps, torn book pages, any roll of paper, strips of paper, happy mail, or junk mail, or cards. Box, unusual or ugly. Stickers, tickets, envelopes, and round. Okay, so again, these are going to be your base. You're going to add your 3 embellishments. Remember, those embellishments can be even sewing, stamping, stenciling, and then, of course, adding actual embellishments as well. So you can actually put like a piece of lace and a flinch card, maybe a ticket behind your flinch card. That would be 3. That would be enough. But maybe you don't have to stop there. Okay, so you can go ahead and add, you know, a flag stamp. And I know, you know, some of you struggle with collaging, but if you just, one of the main things on collaging is to have everything touch. Okay, so you might put this Christmas image in there instead. Okay, so a rectangle of lace going this way, a ticket going this way, and a flinch card going this way, and then this way, and you have that. And then you still have a place that you can add a flower, or if you know, when you're looking at it, you might want to put it down below. But anyway, you need to add at least 3 things. So like if this was your ticket and it was your, yeah, it doesn't really match, but it was your ticket pocket, you can go ahead and there's your ticket and there's your embellishments. Okay. Okay. Also required this time, I'm going to require that you stamp and that you stencil in your journal. Now, remember, if you don't have an actual stencil, you can use a doily, and you can get a stencil out of that. You can use the negative from a variety of things. I use those bingo dot things all the time. If you have some eyelet type fabric or lace, you can use that for a, isn't that amazing? Oh my gosh, isn't that going to be awesome with the daisy stuff? Huh. Yeah, so you know, and I have like this envelope. Okay, it's a stamp keeping envelope, I guess. But look, I have an envelope that's really cool in my batch of stuff. Anyway, I digress. So you must add stamping and stenciling. For stamping, if you don't have actual rubber stamps that, or you don't have them that match, you can punch out from foam with your punches, or you can cut out, and you can make your own stamp that way. You can use your round dauber thing as a stamp and make polka dot pages. We've done that. You've seen me do that. For the stenciling, remember, you can use a straight edge and do the color and get your straight lines. There's lots of things to do, but that is required this time. Stamping and stenciling is required. You must use a Dear Julie digital, and you must use at least 5 pages and the whole page. Okay, so we don't want you to have things left over. So there's I think over 80 digital kits in the shop. And for this challenge, I am going to put, all of the digitals will be on sale September 1st through September 7th for 50% off. Emerald, Diamond and Emerald Patreons, you'll get your code on the 3rd. You always get your coupon code for everything on the 3rd, okay? And remember, you can add digitals into your stash. You can add Dear Julie digitals because it's my challenge, and so yeah, you can do that. So yeah, all those will be on sale for 50% off through the 7th. And don't forget that there is a full digital kit in the Scrap All About It with Dear Julie Facebook group. You are welcome to use that. It's in the files section. Okay, and they were uploaded in March of 2020. So when you're going through the files and you're look for March 2020. Let's see. The other thing that's required is 5 pages of scrapbook paper or a paper pad. Okay, we want to see creative use of a paper pad. You can use it for anything. You can use it for your cover, your pages. You can use it for elements and embellishments. You can use it for anything in there, but you need to use either 5 separate pages or a paper pad. Now, if you're using a paper pad, you don't have to use the whole paper pad. Okay, but you need to use at least 5 pages. Use your whole stash, anything in your stash, and nothing but your stash. Okay? And you can shop for Dear Julie digitals. Okay. So one of the things that may happen is you may find that it's overwhelming to be allowed to use everything. And if you find yourself overwhelmed, I recommend, and several of us would recommend, that you put together a little kit and go from there. Okay. Oh, so this is, what do you do with a list journal? This is what I do so that I have everything I know that all my stuff right now is in this book. And this was a Stashbuster journal that I made. This was Happy Mail. This was Happy Mail. I think Jessica, I'm a Cool Mom, made that. So I think Terry sent me that. I think. I hope I have some stickers that I had. So yeah, so using a list journal and just being able to keep all those things, those scrappy papers that would end up all over the place, they're right here. Okay, so we will continue the mini challenge and the challenge on Saturdays. The mini challenge and the challenge are not required, but you can make them for your journal, or you can make them for any upcoming project. Also, they're not required. You can also do them separately. We have several that know that it's going to be a month that they're not going to be able to make the big journal, but they want to play and they want to participate, so they do the mini challenge and the challenge. And so if one of the things that happens with the mini challenge and the challenge is you're able to add things into your journal kit that you wouldn't normally have. Now this will be a little different because it's Stashbuster, but maybe actually I have an idea. Okay, so I have an idea so that you will get something for actually participating in the mini challenge and the challenge. Okay. Oh, we have a special Facebook group that's specifically for this challenge, and you'll find the link to that at the end of this video. It'll be in the description box down below. We have a place in that Facebook group where you can ask questions. All of the details will be in there, and hopefully they'll be printed out, or they'll be typed out and in a form that you can be able to use with a checkoff list. That is something that part of my support team puts together for us, and we are so grateful. Okay. There's the place for questions. I usually try and use the picture that has the paper airplanes, and it says post your questions here. Just know that sometimes it's days before I can get there to answer the question. But if someone is brave enough to answer the question, they probably know the answer. Please go ahead, and if you know the answer to the question, go ahead and answer it. If it looks like it's been a couple days and nobody's been able to answer the question, somebody tag me in it. You don't need to tag me in your questions unless it's been a couple days and nobody has been able to answer it and I haven't been there. Okay? And it happens more towards the end of the month when I'm getting ready for next month, that I'm not in the group quite as much doing that. I'm looking at people, what they made, but I forget to go look at the questions. Okay. If you can imagine how many notifications I get, Facebook notifications I get in a day, it's crazy. Okay, so we will have a VIP. That is our virtual internet party. We call those that finish their challenge journals during a challenge, we call them VIPs, and they get invited to a virtual internet party. It is for those who finish on time and post their journals, their finished journals, in the finished journal posts. The finished journal posts are usually black with white letters. I'll use a black background. Sometimes it's the record player, the eyeballs, or something like that. And that's where you post. There's one for if you made a video, post your video there. There's one for if you post, we ask you to make a photo album. And you go and make a photo album and you name your photo album. Make sure that your actual name is in the photo album name. Okay, so these are there so that I can find everybody and make sure they get invited to the party. Okay, and also so that people can see. They may see you make a certain thing and they're like, wow, well, what else did she make? And they can go and look at your album and see the other ideas. This whole challenge is for inspiration and confidence building, and I'm building creators. I'm building people that are starting to make videos and have their own channels. And so that is why my heart and why I do this challenge, is to take people on this journey and then, teach them to fish. Okay? So, of course, if you want to buy a fish or a journal, I have that too, and it's in the Etsy shop. Okay, so let's see. So you post them in those posts. Make sure you put them there so I can find them. In the party workshop, which is our special Facebook group, you will find a full digital kit ready to use. This is the special Facebook group that will be for those that finish. Okay, so just for finishing and finishing on time and posting, you will receive a full digital kit. Those that finished the July journal just received the 64-page fairy digital kit. Those that finished the June, they received the colorful daisies digital kit, and so on. And there's been over 32 challenges. Over 32 of the digitals that are in the Dear Julie Julie Etsy shop were VIP digitals. Okay. You will find a full digital kit ready to use. We will use that digital at the actual 2+ hour VIP to be held on the 4th Wednesday of October at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, so save the date. That is when it is. We do a 2-hour, usually ends up being 3, but a 2-hour live play with the digital kit that we gave you. The Fairies of Summer journal that I made last week was made at the VIP. Okay? And okay, so let's review. We are making one journal, any type, any theme, any size, 60 pages. Okay? We are making 3 different elements, and each of these elements is going to have 3 different elements out of each of these things, and each of these element bases are going to have 3 embellishments on top, okay, or added to them. Staples also count as an embellishment that you add. Okay, so scrapbook paper scraps, torn book pages, any roll of paper, strips of paper, happy mail or junk mail or cards, box, unusual or ugly, stickers, tickets, envelopes, round. If you just joined us and you're like going, what? You go back to the beginning of the video and watch this, and it'll explain those. I went into detail. Okay. Also required is this time we're requiring that you add some stamping and stenciling throughout your journal. You must use a Dear Julie digital, at least 5 pages. You can use any digital. You can use more than one digital, but at least 5 pages. And you can purchase Dear Julie digitals from the Etsy shop. And all the digitals are on sale from September 1st through September 7th. Okay. You also need to use scrapbook paper pad or 5 assorted pages of scrapbook paper. Other than that, you get to use your whole stash, anything in your stash, and nothing but your stash. Okay. Okay, so the link to the September Stashbuster Junk Journal Challenge is in the, this is the Challenge 2021. Oh, let's put the hashtag in here, okay? So hashtag September Stashbuster Junk Journal Challenge 2021. So, the link to the Facebook group is in the description box down below of this video, and you can rewatch this video as many times as you like. And of course, you can go watch other Scrapbuster videos on the Dear Julie channel by going to the Dear Julie channel, and in the search bar put Stashbuster, and you'll get some other ideas of making Stashbuster journals. Okay, so I am really excited about this. I think it's gonna be really fun to use the items that we have collected, and I will occasionally be putting other challenges out there and little challenges as I think of things that you know, maybe show us a punch that you haven't used in a while. How are you using it for this journal? Something like that. And so you'll see that post in the group, and you will want to do something there. Hint, hint. Hint, hint. Okay? You guys see me doing the hint, hint? I'm going to be gifting things. And the way that you get in the possibility of getting the gift is by answering the question whenever I have a hint, hint in a video or in a post. Okay? Because there's certain words can't say, because then your video can just disappear. So hint, hint. There you go. And along with that hint, hint, tomorrow you'll see several of the giftees and what I gifted for the last couple of weeks. So make sure you're commenting on videos and on the posts. Okay? There you go. This is the September Stashbuster Junk Journal Challenge. It is now officially underway. Happy September. Let's have a great time, and let's bust those stashes. And please go watch one of these videos, because it really does help my channel. Find something to celebrate every day, and have an amazing day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye-bye.